On today's show, we firstly bring you up to speed in the world of FIA sanctioned motor racing with the latest episode of FIA Pure Motorsport, featuring the European Cross Car Championship, the FIA Karting World Championship, and the European Historic Rally Championship. Then we wind back to 2013 and head to Melton in Victoria as we look back on the opening round of the High-Tech Oils Blown Light Series. And later in the show, we wind forward to 2020 and head to Mansfield in New Zealand, where we bring you races 2 and 3 from the third round of the Ryco 24/7 NZ V8 Utes Series. This is Speedweek.
Hello and welcome to FIA Pure Motorsport. On this week's episode, it's time to honor the champions. We'll introduce you to autocross champion Peter Nicodem. Plus, we'll have great truck racing action from Spain and much, much more from the FIA World of Motorsports. The big season finale in the FIA European Autocross Championships takes place in Mollerussa, 130 kilometers west of Barcelona. In 3 classes, the head-to-head race for the title is eagerly awaited. The champions will be crowned at the last event of the season in the Super Buggy, in the Cross Cars, and in the FIA Cross Car Academy Trophy. In the FIA Cross Car Academy Trophy, Spain's Miguel Galloso Vázquez not only has a 10-point lead over his biggest rival, Italy's Valentino Leda, but is also running in the final race of the season on his home track. Leda takes his chance at the hairpin, and the Italian comes from the very outside to pass Vázquez on the inside. The Spaniard maintains second place against his compatriot Diego Martinez. If Leda wins, second place would be enough for the Spaniard to win the championship. The 2 title rivals pull away from the rest of the field. Leda retains his lead. Behind him, Vázquez drives a controlled race. He tries to keep up with the Italian without making any mistakes. A withdrawal would mean an end to his championship dreams. Valentino Leda celebrates his 3rd victory in 5 races. Miguel Galloso Vázquez comes second and is the new champion in the 2nd year of the FIA Cross Car Academy Trophy. A great success for the 16-year-old Spaniard. Leda finishes 2nd overall. Czech Stanislav Brusek finishes the season in 3rd place. In the cross cars, Frenchman David Meillat has a 35-point lead over Spaniard Juan José Mol Hernandez. After the 2 went toe-to-toe in the qualifying rounds, it's clear that Meillat will defend his title. His lead is just too big. Nevertheless, both give it their all one more time in the last race of the season. But both are surprised by the Spaniard Ivan Pina Chinchilla, who takes the lead. Hernandez is 2nd and Meillat in 3rd. However, the Frenchman manages to push past his rival in the last meters. Chinchilla wins, Meillat is 2nd, Hernandez 3rd. David Meillat defends his title, Hernandez finishes 2nd overall, and the Italian Simone Firenze takes 3rd place. The junior buggy category has been dominated by 2 Czech drivers throughout the season. Ernst Florian and Daniel Petloun were at the front in almost all of their races. The last race in Mollerussa is no exception. At the finish line, it's Florian ahead of Petloun, just like in the championship race. Just like last year, Daniel Petloun has to settle for 2nd place. Ernst Florian is the new champion, and Philip Durt completes the Czech success this season. In the buggy 1600 category, Kevin Peters is already the new champion and is therefore taking it a little easier. He only finishes 8th in the season finale. Jakub Novotny wins by a large margin ahead of Steen Jaspers and Andrei Maxian. Jaspers also secures 2nd place in the championship with his 2nd place finish in the race. Thomas Kristall finishes the season in 3rd place. The race for the championship in the Super Buggy category promised the most excitement. Peter Nicodem and Bernd Stuber both traveled to Spain tied for points. Both drivers were also in excellent form in the qualifying races. In the semi-final, Bernd Stuber had a commanding lead until the German had to park his buggy with an engine failure. The abrupt end of a great championship battle. Stuber cannot compete in the final, and Peter Nicodem is the new champion. The Czech is the first to comfort Bernd Stuber. He is the winner in the final by a commanding margin ahead of the Frenchmen Robert Tuyul and Johnny Foyade. Peter Nicodem wins the Super Buggy Championship for the first time. Bernd Stuber has to settle for 2nd place after a great season, and Foyade comes 3rd. Peter Nicodem has been autocrossing for 18 years. The amazing thing is that Peter Nicodem is only 23 years old. But those who start early are also successful early.
So I remember we were training around the house. We were going with a little car to the forest. I was following my dad on a quad, and that was my first driving experience. I would say it's a big part of it. That's like in hockey or football. The greatest NHL players are also starting in very young age. I would say it can evolve the person, it can create you in a way that you just know how to drive better. When you grow in a car, you can get the feeling of the car much better. I would definitely say it helps.
He won his first title at the age of 6, the beginning of a very successful career for the relaxed, likable, and talented Czech, who always had an eye for the drivers in the top categories.
I was a fan of our drivers. When I got to the European Championship by myself, it was like 9 years ago. I saw the Bernd Stuber, I saw Anacleto back then, and Tafani, and I was always watching them driving. After my round ended, I was always there watching their styles.
His own style suits his personality.
Trying to go as cleanest as possible. I would say that we are all friends in the paddock, which I am generous for, and I'm trying to not change anything about that. And then I'm just trying to be as fast as possible, because the other guys are also very fast.
But not as fast as he is. In 2017, at the age of 18, he became the youngest European champion in the 2nd highest autocross category, the Buggy 1600. He confirms his exceptional talent by defending the title in 2018, then finishing a close 2nd in 2019. Last season, he took the next logical step and switched to the highest autocross category, the Super Buggies. He finished 5th straight away.
When I would compare it to Buggy 1600 before, the category we made 2 championships, it was, I would say, the not consistent results are because we are trying new things, we are developing the car, it's our own build. It's a turbo engine, which is like 90% of the problems. It can be very fast, but it's fast when it's going. When it's not, it's a bit slower.
This season, he's consistently fast and in a great duel with Bernd Stuber for the European Championship title right up to the last race. In the end, Peter Nicodem becomes the new European champion in the Super Buggies category. Now everyone definitely knows the buggy sporting the Czech national colors.
When I was in the kid age, or when I was young, I was always very connected to our national flag and everything. That's why the car looks the way it does today. I am proud I'm from Czech Republic. I wanted to send a message. Just that I'm proud. That's the way I was probably grown up.
At the age of 23, Peter Nicodem is the best autocross driver in Europe, the culmination of a journey that began 18 years ago. The Circuito Internazionale Napoli is the venue for this year's FIA Karting World Championship for the OK and OK Junior classes, and nearly 200 drivers from 49 nations traveled to Sarno in Italy in a bid for the ultimate prize in the sport. Jan Przewrowski and Anatoly Kavalkin, the top two drivers from the European Championship, share the front row with Taim Saleh of Germany and Martin Molnar of Hungary giving chase. Adam Hideg is hoping to give Sodi Kart their first OK title, and Enzo Tarvanichkul will be hoping to give Thailand theirs. At the start, Kavalkin and Saleh sweep to the racing line, but the German loses ground and Przewrowski has nowhere to go but over his right wheel. He runs wide and drops down the order, so Kavalkin leads Hideg and Scott Lindblom through the first few corners. As Tarvanichkul closes in on the leading quartet, Skulinov pounces on Kavalkin and Hideg is with them as the Parolin driver drops to third ahead of Tai. The British driver senses that Kavalkin is vulnerable and makes a superb exit off the final turn, and with a strong Sodi Kart underneath him, Nathan Tai is up to third place. Skulinov sees his chance to pass Hideg, and he leaves the door open for Tarvanichkul to sail past in unison. However, the move of the race would come just a corner later, as Enzo is clearly in no mood to hesitate. Into turn one, he makes his bid and cements his lead up front. Now the Thai is chasing history ahead of Skulinov and Kavalkin. Just when everyone thinks the race up front would settle a little, Tarvanichkul makes a slight error and drops back behind Skulinov, but no sooner has he made the mistake when he has to defend himself against Kavalkin and regains the lead in turn one. An excellent comeback. Kavalkin catches up with him in second place. As Tarvanichkul starts to push, Skulinov begins to realize that if he doesn't pass Hideg soon, the win would disappear, and he makes his bid into the final bend at the end of the lap, but the Hungarian is adamant not to lose his spot. His hesitation gives Kavalkin and Przewrowski the chance to surge in front instead. With perfect timing, discipline, and immaculate control, Enzo Tarvanichkul finishes week in a victorious fashion by giving Tony Kart their first Junior World Championship crown since 2013. Enzo Tarvanichkul is Thailand's first champion of the world. So Enzo Tarvanichkul wins the title, Hungarian driver Adam Hideg finishes in second place, and Jan Przewrowski from Poland completes the podium. The race for the World Championship title in the OK category also promises a lot of excitement. Mateusz Morgato is in the first row next to the reigning world champion Tuukka Tapponen. Oscar Peterson starts in third position, whilst last year's junior world champion Keian Nakamura Berta has a great chance from fourth. Morgato makes the dream start ahead of Tapponen and Peterson, but on the very first corner, it's game over for David Walter and Luigi Coluccio as the two men are spat out by the pack. A tough blow for the former Academy Trophy race winner and last year's vice world champion. The top four remain as they started until the end of lap 2 when Peterson makes his move on the flying Finn. Up front, Morgato is just settling in for a smooth run. Behind the Brazilian, an intense battle for second and third place develops between Keian Nakamura Berta, Tuukka Tapponen, and Freddie Slater. Nakamura Berta decides enough is enough and makes an unbelievable overtake on Tapponen, giving Slater more room than the Finn is happy about. Now the previous two junior world champions are ahead of the reigning OK world champion, but Slater's attempt to move up is thwarted by the Japanese youngster. Mateusz Morgato from DPK Racing and the whole of Brazil are about to achieve an incredible victory. The first World Championship win for Brazil since Ruben Carapatoso triumphed in Formula A 24 years ago. Mateusz Morgato wins the title, Finnish driver Tuukka Tapponen finishes in second place, and Oscar Peterson from Sweden completes the podium in third. The 34th edition of the Rally Elba Storico was the second to last stop of the 2022 FIA European Historic Rally Championship and featured 10 special stages over a distance of 135 kilometers. James Potter and Caroline McCormick in their number 27 Ford Escort RS 1800 MK2 topped the EHRC competitors all weekend in Category 2. After a great drive in the tricky road conditions, the British duo finished third overall. After the leaders from day one, Karl Wagner and Gerda Zeuner, had to retire their yellow Porsche 911 SC with gearbox issues, there was a final day duel for the overall victory between two Ford Sierra RS Cosworth 4x4 teams. Tibor Erdi Jr. and Zoltan Shoko finished day one in third place and had a very good second day, winning 4 out of 5 stages. Nevertheless, it was not enough for the overall victory. During the 7th stage, they lost almost 2 minutes, and Mats Mirzel and Esko Juntila took advantage of this to pass the Hungarians and win the Elva Storico rally by just 1 second. Buzetski Dani in Croatia, the final round of the 2022 FIA European Hill Climb Championship season, has seen the deserved winners crowned after a thrilling day of action. Austria's Karl Schagal was the fastest of all the Category 1 cars in his highly modified Volkswagen Golf Rally and a brilliant 9th overall. His biggest rival for the overall victory in Category 1 for close-to-production closed cars, Vasily Yakshik, only finished 32nd in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9, but that was enough to win the title for the first time. The overall winner of the Buzetski Dani came from Category 2. Italy's Christian Merli completed a perfect season in his Osella FA30 by claiming 8 wins in 8 events, winning the title in the competition cars category. In 2021, the FIA ETRC became the first FIA-regulated championship to switch to 100% sustainable fuel. Yet this was only the first step on the championship's journey to becoming the leading platform for technologies in the road haulage industry. The FIA, the promoter of the series, the ETRA, and Goodyear worked towards a common goal of making truck racing environmentally forward-thinking. The FIA Truck Racing Commission developed a sustainability roadmap that is now being implemented step by step.
We define a roadmap for the next 10 years based on different technology, on different energy. As I said, we started with the fuel. On the second stage will be the introduction of the electric and hybrid powertrain. On the last stage will be the hydrogen.
Another important aspect of this roadmap are the tires. In truck racing, the tire factor is even more important than in other motorsports.
We have a weight of minimum 5.3 tons. So for the tires, they have to make a big job during the race. The race is short, around 25 minutes. But we have to drive the tires for the qualifying and for 2 races. So it's a long distance with a big weight.
The tires must therefore provide top performance and also meet the high demands of the FIA in terms of sustainability.
The challenge is huge because we have several levels. Define the material we can use. And after that we have the quantity of tires and the second life of tires. And again, the ETRC is the first championship where we will have a second life of the tires, so it's a very big changement in the motorsport.
In order to reconcile all this, the ETRC is benefiting from Goodyear's extensive motorsports experience. Goodyear's head of brand and product marketing commercial Europe, David Califano, explains what makes the tires in the ETRC so unique.
So the structure of the tires basically is the same that we use for standard tires for track on the road, and then on the top we have a specific racing compound. We also have a specific sub-layer that helps to cool down the temperature of the tires that of course ensure the maximum performance. What is important to notice is that basically we use one tire for dry and wet, so we need to be able to provide the teams with the performance in all conditions. And also what is different from normal track tires is that we use the same tire for all the different axles, so for the steer axle or the drive axle, while normally in normal track you have different tires on the steer and on the drive.
And after the races, the tires are recycled and used in everyday life on the roads of Europe. Another important step in the FIA ETRC's ambition to become a leading platform for sustainable technologies in the road haulage industry, and at the same time making truck racing a relevant research and development platform for manufacturers. And last but not least, to be a good example for truck drivers in terms of sustainability.
The truck driver is out there day by day driving the truck. And he has to be convinced that sustainable technology is something he's comfortable with and he wants to drive and work every day. So we try to change the acceptance of sustainable technologies, and that's what we can do here with a lot of fans, 400,000 fans and more coming to the races, and this is what we are trying to do to change the acceptance.
One thing is for sure, given the commitment of all the parties involved, exciting times lie ahead for the Goodyear FIA ETRC. The last race weekend of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship season takes place at Jarama Circuit north of Spain's capital of Madrid. Norbert Kisch is already a champion, so it's all about second place. The two Germans, Jochen Hahn and Sascha Lenz, are in a hot duel with every point counting. Sascha Lenz is only 12 points behind ahead of the last 4 races. In the first race, Norbert Kisch is on the pole position, next to him Jochen Hahn, and directly behind Hahn, Sascha Lenz. All the drivers have great respect for this first corner and try to stay in their lanes, which by and large works well. Norbert Kisch leads ahead of Hahn and local hero Antonio Albacete. Further back in the field, Andrei Kurzim pushes Adam Lachko a bit. While the order at the front remains unchanged, the toughest duel in the field is between Kurzim and Anderson. The Brit puts pressure on Kurzim the entire race and sees his chance to pass him on the last lap. He tries it on the inside and is successful. Jamie Anderson moves up to 7th place. Norbert Kisch with a lights to flag victory. His 15th win of the season reflects his dominance. Jochen Hahn finishes second and collects important points in the overall ranking. Antonio Albacete finishes in 3rd position. In the second race of the day, the field is close together. Andrei Kurzim leads ahead of Theo Calvé and Calvé's teammate Adam Lachko. Jamie Anderson's clearly found his favorite place to overtake. This time he passes Steffi Halm on the inside. Then Norbert Kisch attacks Antonio Albacete. The Hungarian easily passes the Spaniard. At the front of the field, Theo Calvé attacks Andrei Kurzim for first place, but the German is defending his position with everything he has. Behind them, Adam Lachko is waiting for his chance. After the turn, the two teammates touch each other. The beneficiary is Andrei Kurzim, who crosses the finish line without any problems and celebrates his first win of the season. It's also the first double podium this season for the Bigura team. Kurzim logs the 9th win of his career. Theo Calvé comes in 2nd. Adam Lachko fights his way into 3rd place. The third race takes place on Sunday, and those good intentions of the previous day regarding the first corner seem to be forgotten. Norbert Kisch leads the field into the first corner. Behind him, Lachko and Albacete. Then it happens. The Spaniard touches Lachko and spins him. Anderson swerves and Jochen Hahn hits Sascha Lenz, his big rival for second place in the overall standings. Many parts are left behind and the race has to be stopped. Hahn's truck is too damaged to take part in the restart. The drivers take a more cautious approach at the restart and all trucks make it through the first corner. During the race, there is hardly any change in the positions. In the end, another clear success for Norbert Kisch. The second success this weekend for the Hungarian. Adam Lachko comes in 2nd, and Antonio Albacete also makes it onto the podium again in 3rd. 4th place goes to Sascha Lenz, who makes up important points on Jochen Hahn. The last race of the season. Andrei Kurzim and Theo Calvé are on the front row. Behind them, Steffi Halm and Jamie Anderson. Calvé passes Kurzim right at the start and slows him down. Anderson wants to take advantage of this to pass Kurzim, but he's got too much speed and drifts to the outside, kicking up the dust. Sascha Lenz wants to keep his chances for a second place in the overall standings and is pushing hard. Making a little contact, he tries to get past Andrei Kurzim, but he goes off the track himself and loses a few spots. Steffi Halm is sitting in third and has 3 pursuers, Lachko, Kish and Lenz, who want to pass her. But the German is defending her position very well. She pulls away a little as the drivers behind her jostle for position. While Kish has passed Lachko, Sascha Lenz is also trying his luck. Behind him is Jochen Hahn. The experienced German stays out of it and just makes sure that the gap to Lenz doesn't get too big. Then both pass Lachko. Kish and Lenz are now attacking Steffi Halm again. And suddenly, steam from the rear end of Sascha Lenz. He spins and the race is over for him. This means that Jochen Hahn has secured second place in the overall standings. In the last race of the season, Norbert Kish wants to get on the podium and tries everything to pass Steffi Halm. But as in many situations before, Halm manages to keep Kish behind her with great defensive maneuvers. Theo Calvé wins the last race of the season, Andre Kurzim comes in second, and Steffi Halm saves a hard-fought podium place over the finish line. A nice final success for the young Frenchman who crosses the finish line 11 seconds ahead of Kurzim. Norbert Kish defends his title successfully and with a big lead. Jochen Hahn secures second place overall ahead of Sascha Lenz, a great end to a long season. That's it for today. On our next episode of FIA Pure Motorsport, we'll have a closer look at the 2022 Motorsport Games. We'll show you the grand finale of the Formula Regional European Championship. Plus, we have fantastic action from Baja Portalegre. Till next time, take care everybody and ciao.
Hello folks and welcome to some awesome competition here at the Expert Weir near Melton in Victoria for what promises to be a great day of competition. The Blown Lights boats, the High-Tech Oils Blown Light Series kicks off the first round of 5 that we'll be seeing this year. Some good competition, that's for sure, and throw in for good measure the Melton Gold Cup for unlimited and blown light craft. So a bit of something for everyone. Some high speed, some wicked cornering, and some big horsepower out on the water. Promises to be a massive day. So here we are at Expert Weir in Melton, Victoria for round 1 of the High-Tech Oils Blown Light Series. Going to be a fantastic series ahead. Craig Lynn joins me in commentary, the series announcer for these wild boats. And I've got to tell you, if you haven't seen Blown Lights boats before, folks, you're in for a treat. Craig, they are a weapon.
Certainly are, Wade. Established last year, first round at the Expert Weir, of course. We're all excited.
Big course, that's for sure. The boys will get up to some very, very strong speeds. Here is Brent Lewis on board with Decision. You'll notice they look very much like fighter pilots in these cockpits. And let's face it, you have to be inside that cell. If something goes wrong, you want as much protection as you possibly can. The boss, Decision, Immortal, Bad Influence, Bad Intent, and High-Tech Oils Sucker Punch, your pole or your grid for race number 1 here, thanks to High-Tech Oils. And here's Timmy May, the farmer from South Australia. What a great character this man is, and certainly a bloke that can pedal as well. Coming down for the start right now, Craig. Race 1 of the day, round 1, the High-Tech Oils Blown Light Series, and we're underway at Exford.
And the assassin, Daryl Quinn, charges out leading from Stone on the outside. Back on the inside, that looks like Brent Lewis from the Lockyer Valley.
Watching him turn in hard left here. For a big heavy boat with a lot of horsepower, they do turn extremely nimble. High-Tech Oils, Matthew Stone, charging at about 3rd position right now. Good water conditions here today on a crystal day here at Melton.
And of course, the macho man, Matt Stone, starting outside pole all weekend this weekend on the provisional licence. Matt hasn't driven for a couple of years, so he's outside pole all weekend.
Just watching the boats get a bit of a wriggle up just at the moment. There's Brent Lewis in that blue and yellow Decision craft, extremely close to the boy. Our race leader at the moment, Bad Influence, charging hard. Daryl Quinn, we go back on board with Decision. No point really to wear gloves. You notice they've got all the safety gear on, but Of course, with water all around you and fire not usually being a huge issue for boat racing, no need to wear the gloves.
Very tight corner there by Stone. He's moved into second place. Lewis back on the inside. Look at the air underneath these boats, Wade. Plenty of air, but Stone gets it down on the ground pretty well.
They sound fantastic, these boats. Good crowd here to enjoy the action. Stone charging hard on that second spot as we move into the final lap. He looks very casual behind the wheel, does Stoney.
Yeah, the look at the eyes, like dinner plates, focused on the track here. It will be a tremendous second place. One lap, half a straight to go.
Coming in very close. He's starting to make his run towards the end, but I don't think he's going to get it. Bad influence driven by Darryl Quinn. Oh, Stone gets some big air. Comes out of the water not once, but twice. How's the pucker factor on that one? Stone very excited, but in the end, can't quite run down the leader. Quinn had some excellent speed up. The rest of the boys coming through. You just see at the top of your screen is Tim May in the boss.
Yeah, just coming home in third place. That was, of course, Mark Gauci in Immortal, the man from Epping in Melbourne.
Looks like a bit of hard work there for Darryl. He's breathing the big ones. It's very physical. These craft really will get tossed around. Of course, you're dealing with a lot of G-forces as well in the corners. Influence your winner from Hi-Tech Oil's Sucker Punch. Immortal, the boss, Bad Intent and Decision, rounding out the results for race 1.
Oh, look, it's always good to get a win. The first race of the day, we always treat it as a test and tune, make sure we got our fuel curve right, and then we just let everything else happen from there. And look, really, I wasn't expecting it to pan out the way it did because, Mark from Immortal, this is his home track and he's been doing a lot of testing over the last week and a half. And I hear he's been cracking some good speeds, but we got a good start, and I just relied on that we could start the boat, get it down the chute, launch it, get around the first turn, and let the race pan out from there. But it's always nice to get a win, but it's always nice to have a boat that come back still going.
Mate, just to get out there with the boys, the first round here at Melton, absolutely unbelievable to bring the new Hi-Tech Oils factory boat here this weekend. Mate, I didn't know what was going to happen out there, and come to the last straight there, I saw Quinny on the inside. I was trying to get the power down, the boat was just going skyrocketing high, but mate, I think we've sprung a leak somewhere, so hopefully nothing too bad. The SPR crew, they'll get up there in a second, assess the damage.
And so a good crowd here to enjoy the action here at Exford Weir near Melton, and Quinny, bad influence. He was a bad influence on the rest of the field in that first one. He absolutely towed them. Whether it's going to do the same thing here remains to be seen. So we take a look at your poll or your lineup. Intent, Decision, Immortal, the boss, Bad Influence, and Hi-Tech Oils Sucker Punch, your grid for this second race. So the Hi-Tech Oils Blown Lights boats. Beautiful day for it. Water looks nice at the moment. Good field of boats once more. And Craig, we're getting set as the boys come up to the line.
You can see that white flag aloft there, Wade. As soon as that drops, you know it stops.
Away we go, boys on it hard. Have a listen to this. They sound fantastic. And again, influence very, very quick as we rocket down the main straightaway here into the first turn. Nice run for Decision up the inside there. I think Brent Lewis got a great start in that first turn.
Certainly did, but Stone on the outside, currently in fourth. But Quinn holding all the aces at the moment.
Bad Intent, charging here at the moment. Very distinctive powder blue colour, running in that third spot. Beautiful turn there, made up a fair bit of ground. It's a two-way battle for the race lead. Here they come, Lewis, again that boat, very twitchy in the water. Oh, very nice run around the outside by Quinn.
Yeah, very nice run. Oh, Brent Lewis diving down in the water there, hit a big lump of water and merely stopped on the back straight.
Yeah, bogged it down. If you can bog it down in water, if you don't get a clear run, momentum is so important in this sport. You can't just stab and steer it. You really got to carry good boat speed in and good boat speed out, and that's what Quinn did better than most. And again, wow, Lewis really twitchy. As we move into the last lap now, Quinn driving away with this. It's not that Lewis doesn't have the boat speed, Craig. He just doesn't seem to have the setup right now.
Yeah, he half Murray Walkered there, half spun the boat, and but brought it back to terra firma. Cost him a lot of ground. He was really nailing Quinn there for a moment.
Look at the water displacement too. They absolutely get filled in. Big crowd on the hill there, up on the left-hand side, and the Hi-Tech Oils boat of Matthew Stone has got some problems. You just see Lewis go thundering past, and Quinn doubles up. Very, very nice job. Bad Influence being just that on his rivals. That thing is just rocking here today. Quinn has certainly come to play.
Certainly, that's the Richie Benno, 2 out of 2 for Daryl Quinn. Unfortunately for Stone, got a little bit of water in the ignition box, so the fire went out pretty quickly.
Quinn, he's on a mission, isn't he? Looking around us to check where everybody else ended up. A solid run here at Exford Weir near Melton in Victoria. Melton, universally known, probably throughout the world too, as the home of jet sprint racing in a lot of ways. Influence getting your win from Immortal, Decision, Bad Intent, Sucker Punch. High-Tech Oils up to 5th and the Boss rounding out to 6th. So getting set for a start right now, the boys coming up. Gauchi hoping for a strong run. He was second in the previous event. That man to the right of screen, Lewis. He's been quick enough. He just needs to get a good result here, Craig.
Yeah, he certainly does. The man from Lockyer Valley in Queensland. He's a very quick driver. Just needs to get that set up right, I think.
Bad Intent, the Boss, Immortal, Bad Influence, Decision, and High-Tech Oil, Sucker Punch. How important is grid position here, Craig? Do you think it really matters?
Like a lot of courses, that much coveted inside line there, Wade. First down there generally puts a lead on the back straight, but very, very important. And you can understand a guy like Stone, the really hard job. Oh, look how close we've got here. Lewis moved down on Stone.
Well, once again, Quinn is just an absolute rocket. This time, Gauchi having a better run and Immortal on board with the High-Tech Oils craft of Matthew Stone. He's been dead set unlucky a couple of times. And just watch the boats coming out of the water here as they rock down this back straight for the first time. Quinn has been unstoppable. Tell us about him, mate, and that Bad Influence craft.
Yeah, of course, a 51-year-old from Glenmore Park in Sydney, out Penrith Way. He's a pest controller by trade, thus the name of the boat, the nickname, the Assassin.
So just to clarify that, the boat is called Bad Influence. The driver is an Assassin. Oh, man! A spin going into the turn, and that is so easy to do, Craig.
Yes, and he did it all by himself. That's the worst thing. You can't blame anyone else, Wade, but it looks like Immortal has charged away.
So I think that was Bad Intent, was it, spinning out just then at that corner, boy. We're riding on board now with Gauchi, doing an excellent job. Finally, someone has stepped up to the mark and certainly giving our race winner for the previous two something to think about. Lewis a little bit more distant than he would like to be, but Gauchi looking to try and wrap this up in Immortal. And here is Decision. It's been a tough boat to control today.
Yeah, Wade, I think Daryl Quinn's had a bit of a problem there. He's dropped back in third, may have got a little bit of water through the hat there.
This just goes to show that anything can happen in High-Tech Oils blown lights competition. This man is romping. Good result now. It's taken him a while to warm things up. We go back on board now with Quinn. Just watching him charge, but well done, Gauchi, just flying.
Yeah, the carpenter and joiner from Epping in Victoria doing a great job. One of the real nice guys in our sport.
Quinn trying to fight his way back from those dramas that we thought he encountered earlier. And is that High-Tech Oils Stone on the other side there as well? Well done to our race winner, though. He will romp home. Immortal certainly was in that one. Finally puts a stop to Quinn's race-winning streak, though the day is not over by any means. Immortal getting the win from High-Tech Oils Sucker Punch. Good result for the High-Tech Oils craft in that one. Influence in third. Decision, the Boss, and Intent rounding out the top 6, so it's mixed things up a bit.
We were very happy with that race. There's a lot of work on the boat last night to improve its performance. We're still lacking a little bit of straight line speed, but we pick it up in a smooth, tight, quick corner. But there's still a bit of improvement left, and we won't stop.
Well, these High-Tech Oils blown lights are fascinating little bits of gear. It's been a fantastic series, and we thought we'd catch up with one of the leading mechanics in the category, Brett Nidri, to just see what these little blown lights are all about and what the difference between these boats is and maybe some of the big blown alcohol displacements. Brett, give us a little bit of an idea of the combination on these engines.
These engines are a small block Chev, based on a small block Chev. They're up to 380 cubic inch. This one in Immortal is 360 cubic inch. They got a little 671 supercharger on them, and they make approximately 1,000 to 1,100 horsepower, roundabout.
Well, mate, we've seen the blown alcohol boats, the bad boats, for years and years, and we've watched them go around. These boats seem to be very nicely balanced. Is the power-to-weight combination a better thing than a blown alcohol displacement boat?
Oh, it definitely is. You're dealing with a small blower on it with no overdrive, basically. You've got to run a 1-to-1 blower, so they don't make a lot of power, so you use RPM to make the boat go fast.
And in terms of handling as well, with our cavitation set up and just the balance of the boats, they seem to turn really well also.
Yeah, these type of boats turn very, very well. They're a lot smaller than the blown alcohol, the big boats. So yeah, they turn tremendously better.
And of course, safety cells as well. That must just be a fantastic innovation that's come in well over, I guess, the last 10 years, but really prolifically in the last 3 or 4 years.
Oh, definitely. You know, like the safety cell's so much easier for the driver. You know, he's strapped in. He doesn't move anywhere, so he can drive into the corner a lot harder and a lot smoother.
Well, Brett, that gives us a little bit of an insight into a Hi-Tech Oils blown light. Thanks very much. You've got a busy, busy day working here on Mark Gautz's Immortal, so good luck for the rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much, Dave.
And so the unlimited boats are out on the water. There is Chris Pugsley in Oxygen Thief, and through the window is Borgie in that Performance craft. Off to the right is Tough Enough, Dave Clark, and of course his son races junior boats as well. Here's your poll or your lineup for your Hi-Tech Oils coverage of the unlimited boats: Wild Child, Oxygen Thief, Performance and Tough Enough. And when we talk unlimited, Craig, we talk unlimited. These things are knocking out huge horsepower.
Huge horsepower indeed, and look at this boat right on the outside. The Dave Clark machine, Tough Enough. Off she goes like a rat up a drain pipe.
Well, Borg was absolutely left behind in Performance. Not sure what happened there. Here is Tough Enough. This thing is absolutely immaculate. The guys carry, as a general rule, oh wow, I was going to say spare engines. Wild Child Robertson got a fantastic run up the inside.
Certainly did, Wade. Unfortunately, Dave Clark, plenty of horsepower, but just has a few troubles getting them round the turn, boys.
I was going to say it's a longer hull, isn't it, that craft? We see Pugsley getting filled in deluxe here at the moment inside that pod just there, and launching once again out of the water. Very aggressive. Oh, look, Borg in the Performance craft has stopped. Ooh, that's a precarious position to stop, Craig Lynn.
Yes, a white flag, red diagonal stripes. They'll be out on the course warning drivers there is a disabled boat and take extreme caution.
There is Clark, distinctive powder blue colour, and that, of course, the boys all wear those fluoro orange helmets, and there's a good reason for safety with that, Craig.
Certainly is, in the unfortunate instance of a driver coming out of the boat, and can be easily located by our divers.
Whoa, once again, watching Pugsley and Oxygen Thief really launching out of the water. That boat is on the ragged edge.
He's a hero, Chris Pugsley. He gets every tenth out of that boat.
And if you've ever watched his lovely wife standing on the dock, she's pretty well the team race manager. She gets pretty animated watching him as well. We look through the side as Pugsley works the water here at Exford Weir near Melton and Victoria, all part of the Hi-Tech Oils Blown Lights weekend. And you're watching at the moment the unlimited craft, and Wild Child, after not getting the best start, rocketed up on the inside into turn one, and they haven't been able to stop Robbo yet.
Checkered flag time, and winner Darren Robinson in Wild Child from a hard-charging Chris Pugsley, batting well above his weight there in second place.
And he was pushing hard, wasn't he, Pugs? He always does. He's good entertainment value, that's for sure. There he is. On onboard camera, looking through the window. Nice job in unlimited, though, for that man on screen, the Wild Child, running a mark. Bad luck for Performance, Dean Borg, whose son also races in junior boats as well. Clark, well, home in third. Tough result for him, and Borg, unfortunately, did not finish. That's the way they finished in your unlimited class. And so it's time now for the final race of round one of the Hi-Tech Oils Blown Light Series here at Exford Weir near Melton in Victoria. And this Blown Light Series, how many rounds are we facing coming up?
Yeah, Wade, this is one of 5. Our next round is the Easter long weekend at beautiful Taree on the Manning River there, 29th, 30th and 31st of March. The following round is round 3 at Pikes Reservoir in Victoria, the 27th and 28th of April. The 4th round, Laidley on the beautiful Lockyer Valley, the 29th and 30th of June. And our final round at the Windsor Marine Stadium, the 13th, 14th and 15th of September.
You check this all out on blownlights.com.au. Meanwhile, time to get back after it. And Quinn in a mean mood for the 4th and final race of round 1. Matty Stone charging hard on the Hi-Tech boat, but it's Immortal and Bad Influence going toe-to-toe. Quinn leading from Gauchi just at the moment as they storm down to this turn 3, as it were. The left-hander on board with the high-tech oils craft of Matthew Stone getting filled in, but keeping his boat speed up at the moment, running a strong third.
Yeah, going very wide indeed, going for the good water, but look at this battle out. We're back to Stone here. The battle out in front, very absorbing duel there between Quinn and Gauchi. Stone, first time on the water. Oh, big moment, Wade.
Wow, we nearly had a Stone unturned just then. That was big time. Thank goodness he got the thing back under control. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, your leader is Quinn. Obviously not happy with blotting the copybook in that previous race when he had to lower his colours to Gauchi. Here comes Stone. That thing is a rocket. It's certainly the fastest the boat has been this weekend. Looking for the big inside launch on Gauchi here in Immortal, just off to the right. Man, Stoney's got his act together in this one, Craig.
He certainly has, Wade, in the vicinity of 130 mile per hour. That's mile per hour. He's out after Quinn, but he's got a pretty good lead here, Quinn. This could be 3 out of 4 for the weekend.
That's around the 200k mark, and he's just spun. All that good work has come undone. He turns it back on itself and gets back after it, but the momentum is well and truly gone for Stone. Wow, disappointing because he was a rocket ship. I don't know how much he's going to come back right now in the dying stages of this race. He powers back to the outside. Meanwhile, Quinn has just absolutely rocked it. Strong drive. Gauchi across the line in second. Stone certainly the excitement machine in that one, but couldn't quite get it done. Checkered flag falls a little too early for him. Man, he was quick in that one.
Certainly was, and he'd be that cranky out there, Wade. He'd be booing Santa Claus on Christmas Day, believe you me. He did all the hard work, all to no avail.
Big charge here up the inside, and that's what you sometimes have to do, go for the lunge. He did a great job. That pass was awesome then, and laid the boat down very nicely coming out, but here, the other end is where he spun, trying to put the pressure on our race leader, and Immortal going by saying, I'll take that, and gets the spot back. So entertaining stuff for your Hi-Tech Oils Blown Light action here from Melton in Victoria. Round 1 of the Hi-Tech Oils Blown Light Series. As you heard Craig say, round 1 of 5, and that was the replay from the onboard view of that spin in that turn, which unfortunately cost him a shot at the lead and certainly a shot at the top too. Man, they're under a lot of stress getting to these corners, aren't they?
They certainly are, and they're substantially lighter than the big unlimited boats. Get through the corners much quicker. And Wade, this series is just going absolutely gangbusters at the moment.
Well done to Mark Gauchi. Strong result for him, though nobody could stop Quinn. Bad Influence getting the win. Immortal in second. In the end, Hi-Tech Oils Sucker Punch recovered to get third. Decision, Bad Intent, and the Boss rounding out your 4th and final race of round 1.
Oh, look, it's always nice to come back for a win. Look, Mark had a really good run in the first race today. The boat felt a little bit doughy, so we just went back and made a few changes, and it certainly responded to the changes that we made. Look, it's one of those things you just got to keep chipping away. You think you got it right, but things can change pretty quickly with the weather, so we just follow what the logger tells us to do. We made the call to do what we wanted to do. It was on a borderline decision where it was going to be a little bit too much fuel out of it, but it responded really well, and yeah, she come down the chute really clean. My family keeps on telling me, you're an old granddad, Dad, because you take the turns really slow compared to everyone else, but my philosophy is get around the turn first and then point it in the right direction, shoot it, and bang, away you go.
Geez, it's rough out there, and to be coming out of pole 6, mate, I got me job. I don't know what to do. It's hard out there. We're a long way out from being in the nice clean water, but mate, I did a good turn on an Immortal there. I snuck up the inside and I thought, all right, Quinny, now it's time to chase you down, and just getting it right on the verge of his wash, looped it around, and it was good driving of Mark. He went around me, and he actually gave me the thumbs up going around, so I booted it back in it and kept it going. But mate, great venue here, good bunch of guys. Darryl's definitely the man to beat. But, mate, bring on Tari. I can't wait.
Yeah, he looks pretty amped. He got good boat speed in that last race, didn't he? Bad Influence leads the series by a narrow 8 points over Immortal. Decision, Bad Intent, Sucker Punch, and the Boss as we head to Tari for round 2. Turning our attention right now to the Melton Gold Cup. We had 3 qualifying heats in order to get yourself ready for the final. Everybody wants that inside groove, that pole position for the fourth and final race that is the Gold Cup. We have a couple of onboards to show you. One will certainly be off Sucker Punch, and that high-tech oil Sucker Punch, and one will also be on Quinn in Influence, who comes into this in some sterling form. Dave Clark and the very distinctive Tough Enough boat, which seems to be a much longer hull to me to the other craft.
Yeah, certainly is. We've got the two Evercrafts on the outside there, Wade, and great vision coming from the stone boat. Flag down.
Here we go, right through the middle is Quinn. Clark going with him. We know that things are weapon in a straight line. It's just the cornering speed at times that hinders Dave a bit. Wow, look how much wider Quinn opens up the corner then. Clark tries to come back at him. Good night, nurse. Quinn is rocking.
Certainly is, and he's put a gap on Clark already. We'll be looking for Stone to make up many, many lengths. Poor old Dave Clark, very quick in a straight line, but has had a lot of trouble getting around these turnbuckles. Here comes Stone on the outside, coming up to complete one lap.
Stone didn't exactly get the best of starts, but he now powers around the outside of Clark, which is not easy. Look at this thing in a straight line. Clark coming back at him. Stone a bit more nimble in the turns. Well done, Dave Clark. Slides across the water. Wow, that was close.
Certainly was close. He drifted out sprint car style there, Wade, and fortunately Stone moving out also.
Wow, what a lead at the moment for Quinn. Bad Influences, G-O-N-E, gone as we approach the last lap in the Melton Gold Club for the High-Tech Oils Blown Lights weekend, a big weekend of racing. The boys heading to Taree. Check out blownlights.com.au for more details of the remaining 4 rounds. Quinn is gone. Look at this thing. Hasn't missed a beat all weekend except for one race there where he had some issues. Still managed to finish third.
Yeah, he got a little bit of water down the hatch there and put the fire out, but he restarted the boat and came in third. So plenty of points for the Assassin this weekend.
Checkered flag is out. Quinn stomps it in the first race for the Gold Cup. First of 4 events for this particular event today. Stone strong in second. Just has to work on those starts. It really cost him badly in the first part, probably the first lap, where he unfortunately gave Quinn a head start, and you cannot afford to do that. So here's a replay when Clark fired it up the inside there, and this is how awesome in the cornering. Look how wide Quinn runs. He keeps the boat speed right up.
Yeah, momentum. It's all about momentum there, Wade. And look how close Clark and Stone get here.
Yeah, this was scary, really, wasn't it? Here, coming into the corner right now. It's where he sweeps out right here. That could have been disastrous. High-Tech Oil Sucker Punch staying on it. Gee, that was way too close.
Deary me. Very, very close indeed. But that man, Darryl Quinn, in Bad Influence. The weekend just has gone from good to great.
Influence getting the win from Sucker Punch, and Tough Enough rounding out the 3 in race 1.